Hello there, Archon Recon on the line. At last the Test series is finished. The West Indies were literally humiliated in the final Test match. But we do not want to look at this in isolation. We've got to take a look at the overall picture. It is not about winning and losing a Test match. This happens from time to time. But the consistency of the manner in which the English played their second and third Test matches, it lends a story to the selectors, it lends a story to the cricketers of the Caribbean. It tells us of our immaturity in many ways than one. There was a certain degree of inconsistency of failures that would normally have been unacceptable to most of the former West Indian teams. You'd never find teams that are batsmen that are struggling right through a career of matches against one team. And this was the case here. And take a look at England. Every one of their first 7 batsmen have had good scores from time to time in this 3-match series. What have we had? In this particular Test match, it's been horrible. Now, a lot of times, we keep saying to ourselves, this guy is a good player. This one's an excellent player. And we are referring to our West Indian friends. My question is, they are better than whom? With whom are you judging them? Are we looking carefully to see whether they're technically sound, whether they can plan a batting show, rather than just go and play a sort of not exactly in the manner in which they should? Look at the number of times that we have seen these young batsmen getting either caught off the edge or bowled between bat and pad. These are the 2 areas where good batsmen deal with the best. Unfortunately, this is not the case. Now, I'm not for a minute saying that they'll never be good. That's not the point. I think that there needs to be some sort of close looking at the quality and the technique of our players. We must be able to do it. You can't do it in the middle of a Test match, but you can do it in the nets. You can do it for the past month or 2, whenever the next series is. There must be an effort to find some level of improvement. You may ask the question, why didn't this have to happen in the days of Vivian Richards and Brian Lara? Because they were always thinking of the game. They were more exposed to the game. They understood the game a lot more than these youngsters did. I'm not knocking them. I'm just making a point, hoping that they could improve if they go along. We've got some other players off the line who I thought was coming on quite well, and they were not involved here. And I'm not saying they're better than anybody. All I'm saying is that the exposure they may have had here may have done them really good. Like Darren Bravo, like Pooran, 2 good players. And of course, Hetmar, who we know about already. But even in these guys, you had to make adjustments. Pooran was a total T20 cricketer. Somebody must have spoken to him, because this guy played 100. He got 100 in a ODI, and he played it as if it was a Test match. And from then onward, I saw his maturity looking better and better. He was not given the chance, and I hope soon he will be given the chance. The West Indies must learn the lesson from this series. Do you realize that we have been beaten in 4 days all the time? This is not exactly the kind of game that we want. What can we say about our players? There's another aspect that I'm concerned about. Fitness. There seemed to be an absence of fitness or lack of fitness in some of the players. The out cricket, there's a lot of misfielding and a number of things that had occurred that could be a lot better. You just visualize any time in the past when the West Indies, with some of the best fieldsmen in the world, starting with the former successful captain Clive Lloyd, there was Gus Logie, there were so many others who were fantastic, the late Collie Smith. Yet still, we are finding difficulty to come to terms with competent fielding. And this is another pattern that needs to be addressed. I wish they would have done better, and I hope that this is a lesson for not only the players themselves, for the coaching staff and the selectors to change your strategy. Get batting coaches, more batting coaches, so more attention could be paid to these young batsmen who are faltering in the simplest form. I'm not saying the England bowling was not good. It was very good, as a matter of fact, at times. But it was not good enough if you were competent enough to put those batsmen technically ready and mentally ready to face the rigors of a test match or of a test series. It's bad luck to them. A lot of people will be talking this, that, and then. But then when you lose, you learn a lesson. And I'm sure that we've learned a number of lessons in this particular situation. Even for the captain, who, by his decision making, in hindsight, he would have realized now that maybe it was a better idea to go in there and get your first knock. Incidentally, this wicket in this series was not a bad wicket. It was not a jumpy wicket. You didn't have to fly and move your head quickly. But it was pace off the wicket, the seam bowling by Woakes and particularly Stuart Broad. It was just magnificent. And these batsmen could not deal with it. It is not the type of thing that West Indies supporters will be proud of. But I'm sure that if efforts are made to improve the quality of our batsmen, bowlers and fielders in world cricket, we'd be happier. We'd want to see more cricket. And because of this, we are looking forward to see the kind of dialogue that will take place among the players, the coaching staff, maybe even the selectors. Bad luck to them, and I wish them a safe ride home.